Good day, viewers. Today we take a deep dive into the rising tensions between Iran and Israel and how it's making the White House lose its beauty sleep. The corridors of power in Washington are buzzing with anxiety as President Joe Biden expresses concern over a potential Iranian attack on Israel. It seems that the US has been keeping a keen eye on Iran, observing the country's internal movements of military assets. It's like a high-stakes game of chess, with each side carefully calculating their next move. The US, for its part, is flexing its muscles, ready to step in and defend Israel, if need be. The Pentagon is bolstering regional deterrence efforts and increasing force protection for US forces in the Middle East, like a big brother stepping in to protect his sibling. With the Pentagon turning up the heat on regional deterrence efforts, one wonders if the kettle is about to boil over. Now, let's delve into the shadows where proxy forces lurk. Our friends across the pond, the US intelligence, have been piecing together a rather interesting puzzle. They suggest that Iran might be considering a rather crafty move. Instead of coming out guns blazing, the Iranians might use proxy forces to stick it to Israel, all while keeping their own hands clean. Quite the plot twist, wouldn't you say? It's like a game of hide and seek on a geopolitical scale with high stakes and no room for error. The aim to avoid a full-blown conflict with Uncle Sam, it's a risky strategy, a bit like walking a tightrope above a pit of hungry crocodiles. But it just might work if played right. It seems that the game of chess in the Middle East has taken a turn for the shadowy. Will the king be checked by an unseen hand? In the world of politics, a phone call can change everything. Picture this, a secure line connecting two of the world's most powerful leaders, President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Their conversation, a potential Iranian attack on Israel, an ominous chess game being played out on a global stage, with the pieces moving in real time. The US, observing Iran's internal military maneuvering, is bolstering regional deterrence efforts, increasing force protection for US forces in the Middle East. The moves are calculated, the stakes high, but it's not all strategy and military might. Communication dialogue is at the heart of this high-stakes game. Biden and Netanyahu, their voices echoing in the hallowed halls of power, discuss the threat, strategize, and plan, all while the world watches, waits. It's a dance, a delicate ballet of words and intentions, a testament to the power of conversation in the face of potential conflict. With the phone lines buzzing between the White House and Jerusalem, one can only hope that the line doesn't get cut at the wrong time. In the political arena, frustration is as common as a cup of tea in Britain. It's brewing, steeping, and sometimes it spills over. The recent tension between the US, Israel, and Iran is a prime example of this frustration. You see, US officials are urging Israel to avoid escalating tensions with Iran. They're like a concerned friend advising against a heated argument, hoping to maintain peace. But it's not just the rising tensions causing the irritation, it's the lack of communication. The US is expressing frustration over Israel's lack of prior information sharing before carrying out strikes. It's like being invited to a party but not being told it's a costume party, so you show up in your regular clothes and everyone else is dressed like characters from a science fiction movie. In this case, the US is left scrambling, trying to catch up with the events like someone who just walked into a movie halfway through. It seems that the US is playing the role of a worried parent, urging its child to play nice. Let's see if Israel listens. The world watches as the US makes its move on the global chessboard. It's an intricate dance of diplomacy, strategy, and influence as the US engages its international partners in an effort to calm the storm brewing in the Middle East. It's not just a two-player game anymore. The board is set, the pieces are moving, and every decision could tip the balance of power. The US is not operating in isolation, the stakes are high, and the need for a collective international effort is paramount. With the threat of a potential Iranian attack on Israel, the US is rallying its allies to urge Iran to de-escalate the conflict. It's a delicate situation that requires a balance of power and diplomacy, a test of strength and restraint. In the end, it all comes down to the moves made on this global chessboard. As the US rallies its allies, one can only hope that the game of chess doesn't turn into a game of Russian roulette.